Unit 1. So yeah, I sent the first unit, the PDF file on the chat. So I'm still making the copies. We'll send the rest of the units as well once it's done. So you will have the digital version with you. Okay. And if by any chance, if somebody watching this video, if you need a soft copy of this document or the book or the workbook, just let me know. Send me, put a message on chat or send a message in the comments, and I will directly send it to you. So sounds good. So we came up with all this. We went through the databases. Last week we discussed about type of databases which is used outside your school, and we talked about different types, where gymnasiums and shops and how they manage the data. Now we talk about the final point about a database management system. Okay, so let's go through this because we need to catch up. And also just a quick reminder, we will be having another class tomorrow and evening 2 to 4 o'clock, so that it will be another cover-up class to basically speed things up and to go forward, so that we can cover things up and get on speed with the school's what is being covered at the schools itself. Okay, so sounds good. So database management systems. Now we talk about how database management systems. We talked about how data is saved, and we did some homework. We went through tables, we went through structures, and we understood how to structure data, and we went through a couple of examples as well on data querying, how to filter data, how to sort data. We did a lot, right? Now we know the basic part of that. Now let's jump into some advanced stuff where we actually use database management systems, or in simple terms we call it as a DBMS, so that we can expand our structure, what we decided or what we designed, and how we can go into how we can use that in a much more complexer way. Okay, so in this module we will be learning about few points about this database management systems, as well as primary keys. We will talk about querying and records, and we'll talk about what is a table. So yes, obviously you guys know what is a table, right? So we already created a table on Excel, and we added the data and we went through it, so we know how it works. Now let's see what is the idea, the big picture behind this whole thing. Super. So now, so far we are all familiar with the structure of a database and what they are, and we know how organizations such as your school and different shops and different locations, how they use it, right? And we have seen some examples on how they use this to create using spreadsheet software and so on and so forth, right? Okay, so now databases. We have lots and lots of different types of databases. Okay, so just to give you guys a small idea about a database. Now if you take the best example or the easiest example would be, take a bank account. Okay, so if you take a bank account, you know your parents have bank accounts, right? And then now you know that when you want to get some money out, you have seen the ATM machine where you put your card in and get cash out, right? So these type of machines, how they work is, they are connected to a database, right? So you have a machine, so you basically put your card in to the machine, and the machine reads your card, and what it does is it will send a message to the bank and tell, hey bank, give me 1,000 rupees. Right? Then the bank will tell the ATM machine, okay, wait, and the bank will check your parent's account whether the account has money. Okay, so that checking part is what you learned about the querying. Okay, so then when our bank account is checked, now let's say if I'm going to withdraw some cash, so the ATM machine will send a message to my bank account, and it will check if I have cash in my bank's account, right? Then the database will show the ATM machine that it has money, and then the ATM machine will show you a screen to withdraw money, right? So you might have seen that you go there, you press the buttons, and you ask to withdraw cash, right? And when that withdrawal happens again in the database, it will get updated, right? Okay, so I know it's just something which happens in split seconds, right? You put the card, you enter the money, press enter, just like that, you get the cash, right? But behind the scenes, lot of things happens, right? There's like multiple databases, they check if your card is correct. Now, you know that card has a number, so that number has to be validated, and the validations, now you have to check if the card is actually legit, no? Like let's say if I steal one of your cards and if I go through it, then that the bank should stop, right? Likewise, we use databases on our day-to-day basis a lot. Okay, so example is if we take okay, so you guys got the links through the LMS, no? So in the LMS we have a database. The LMS has a system which connects and has all the links in it, and when you go to the database you can get the details out. And when you click on it, again, see what happened. Now Zoom has a database on its own, right? So when you click on the link, what happens is your Zoom application, the application installed on your machine or your laptop or on your phone, sends a message to the database and asks, hey, I want to connect to this call, can you connect me? And then what Zoom will tell is, Zoom will check and validate if it is true, and it will bring the data back. That's how it works, right? So that's the standard process of using databases. So as you guys understand, whatever we do, wherever whatever the application or what type of a system we use, a database is a must. Okay, so that's how it's going to work. Hi Yonaya, how are you?
Fine.
Good. Do you have sports meet these days?
It's finished.
It's finished. Okay. Okay, that's good. So you have a holiday tomorrow also, no? So you can get some rest. Okay, that's good. Super. So here we can see about an example on how we can create a database. Okay, so we are not going to go very in depth about the technical aspect of this, because I know technical wise databases are it can be complex. Okay, kind of godak complex situation eකට යන්න පුළුවන් databases, because that is how they are designed, right? So but here we will be taking baby steps, and we'll be learning the basics of database structures. Okay, nice. Okay, so a database management system allows you to create something known as a table. Okay, so what you can see on the screen is something called a table. So this is a table. Okay, so a table is something like a Excel sheet. Okay, so this is something similar to an Excel sheet, which what we made earlier during our last classes, right? And this particular table will contain all the fields, right? In the Excel sheet, in the Excel, when we created a table, what we did was we created columns, right? We created columns for each and every data type. Can you remember, right? So if I go back, I will show you a quick example. So if we go up and up, yeah, here, okay. Now here in this case, you can see we created this table on Excel now, and what we have is we have columns, right? So all of these columns has its own title. So columns has titles, and what are these? What do you call these? Cool. Diranya, what do we call these? These are columns and
Rows.
rows. Perfect. Yes. So these are rows. So these are the data points in the system, right? So going back to our table, the database managed inside the DBMS, you can see this is a bit different. Okay. Now here, this is what we call as a table structure. Okay. So in the table structure, what we do is we set the different fields. Right? So මේ ටික තමයි data ටික save වෙන fields ටික. හරි. So මේ field එකේ, in the field we have something known as a field name. Okay. See, we have the ID, surname, first name, gender, gender, form, house, date and bus. So this is the same example we saw earlier, right? Here, after this is created, now we have a thing called a new part. Okay, so this is what you are going to learn today as a new thing, which is known as a field type. Okay, so the field type is something which will define or say what it is. Okay, now ID is a number, right? So sorry, when you want to save the ID, that means since this is a number, we use something called an integer. Okay, Onaya, have you heard about this term called integer? No? Perfect. Okay, all good. So remember the word. Huh? So we will write this down. So wait, and first, yeah, we'll do this activity. During the activity, we'll write it down. But for the moment, just pay attention and listen to this. Huh? So IDs are known as integers in this particular case. An integer is a number. Okay, so when you want to store a number means, okay, question, what is a number? What can we have inside a number? Yes. So what is the range? You're on mute. What is the data set you can have inside a number?
A number.
Like a number, correct. Okay. But මේ මහන්නංකු numbers හැදිලා තියෙන්නේ මොනවා වලින්ද? මොකක්ද තියෙන characters ටික? Numbers are made out of what?
Data.
Yes, it is data. But think, how do you write numbers? You write සිංහලෙන් කියනවා නම් අපි ඉලක්කම්නේ ලියන්නේ. හරි. So we write the numbers, right? So that means a number means it can be something from 0 to 9. Right? So that means anything which goes from 0 to 9 can be an integer. Okay, just understand this in a very simple way. Harry. So if you want to store only a number, that means you can go with the type as integer. Okay, now then next jump to the next part where we talk about the surname. Okay, so surname, first name, gender, form, house, date and bus. Okay, now let's look at this set of data. Okay, so this set of items you can see this is text, right? You have the number, you have the details as text. This is text. What is text? It's just going to be something which you write, right? So because the surname, okay, can the surname have numbers? පුළුවන් ද number එකක් තියෙන්න? What do you think? Usually no, right? You don't have numbers, no, like when your parents gave you the names, they haven't included any numbers in the game, no? Onaya 1 2 3 කියන්නේ නැත්නම් දිනන්‍ය 2 5 6 කියලා ගන්නෑනේ, right? So that is already text. So whatever you want to store with text, you will use the type as text. Okay, keep that in mind. Okay, and then we have the dates. So dates are something specific because we saw this when we went through the Excel module. So when we went through the Excel table, you remember we came up with a way. If you missed that video, just go back, go to channel, you will find the video there. So what we did was we added a sorting feature to the column where we were able to sort the column according to a date, right? We were able to sort it according to the year, according to the month, according to the date, sort it in different orders, sort by date, sort by month, likewise, right? We were able to change the data and query the data depending on specific calendar dates. So when you need to have that feature, then obviously you will have to go with the type as date. Okay, so when you go through the type as date, it will allow you to do all those features. Then again, if you look at the data set, the bus here, the bus goes as a bus name, right? So obviously, since it's the bus name, we will be able to use text. Okay, so one point now, according to that particular data set, now you can see we have the full table created like this. And the fun part is, since we have set up the ID as integer, a number, it starts from 0, okay, and it goes onward based on the specific number. Okay, so now we have a point which is known as the primary key. Okay, so this primary key is something which we need to think about after we jump into this after we jump into this activity. Okay, now shall we write this down? Can you create a small so take your books, take it out. So write 2 columns. One is known as the field name and the other one is field type. Putta, when you're writing it, remember to put this title. So here this is unit 1, lesson 6, and we are going through the activity 1. Just put it like that, so when you are studying for the exam later on, you can easily find out where we have the activities. So just put it like this: Unit 1, Lesson 6, and the activity is 1. Okay? So what I want you to do is write draw two columns. Honey, can I show you this? So draw two columns, and for one column put it as field name, and the other column put it as field type, name and type. Draw two columns, one is the field name and the other one is the field type. Okay? Do you need more time? Can I? Field FIELD, name NAME, and again field type FIELD, and type TYPE. You can see it clearly, right? Honey, okay? Shall we start? Okay? I hope it's okay. Perfect. Now, let's start from writing these field names. Okay? So, we have the book ID, name of book, author surname, author first name, number of pages, and date of release. Okay? So, in the first column, can you write these down? So in the first column means when we drew the table, we added two columns. So the first one is name, the second one is type. So here under the name column, you can write these down. So book ID, name of book, author surname. Let me increase the size. Let me know once it's done. No? Dhiranna, you're also writing, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me know it's done. All good? Unaya, are you done?
Yes, sir.
Yes, perfect. What about Dinan? Do you need more time?
No, sir, finished.
Yes, yeah. Take your time. Let me know once it's done. You finished? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Ah,
I'm
ah,
finished.
okay, perfect. Now, perfect. Okay, all good. Now, we have to write down the types. Okay. Now, the types means, now in the previous page example, we saw that these IDs, these IT text and the fields have different field types mentioned here. Okay, so integers we write as at integer, integer, and for text we write it as text, text, and within brackets we have to write down the type as varchar, varchar. Okay, now let's go down and now you guys will have to tell me what can be the book ID be? What is the type of the book ID? Is it going to be a number or is it going to be text? What do you think?
A number?
Yes, it is going to be a number. So then, yes, so then what you have to do is you must write in the type field as integer. Okay, so since it's a number, we can set the type as integer. Okay, can you write it down?
Sir, what do we need to write?
Yeah, you need to. So since this is creating a database structure, so now we wrote down the field name. Now we need to write down the field type. So you wrote down all the field names now. So in front of the field name, we have to mention the type of the field. So that means in this case, the book ID is going to be an ID now. So that means the type would be integer. Clear? Got the idea?
Yes, sir.
Nice. Onaya, did you write it down?
I have to write this chart.
No, not the chart. Now, okay, we created the, so you already created the chart, right? You already wrote it down. No? So you wrote down the names of the fields also, no? Book. Yeah, okay. So in right in front of the name of the field, we have to write down the type of the field, right? So the type is, now since the book ID is going to be a number, so that means it should be an integer. So you have to write down as integer.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay, let me know after writing.
Sir, we have to write everything.
No, let's go by one. So after writing the book ID, now let's see again what are the next types of, what are the fields we have. So, cool. Okay, so what do we have next? We have the name of the book, right? So this is the name of that particular book which we will have in the database, right? So what is the type of the name? Is it going to be a number or text? It's obviously going to be a text, right? So then we'll check the rest of the items. So the name is going to be a text, obviously, right? What about the author's surname? That is also going to be text, right? And the author's surname, the first name, is also going to be text. So these three items, we can be certain that these are all text, right? So these three items. Cool. Yeah, so these three items, we can see that it's all going to be text items, right? So then what do we write if it is text? What we do is we write it as vacha, text and vacha. Okay, is it clear? Can you, right? Okay, so text and vacha. So let me type it there just to make it easier. So if I add a text here, it would be text and vacha. It will be text vacha. Clear the point? All good? Okay. So now this is text, that is okay, and we have the author surname and author first name is also there, right? So all of them are text, right? So after that, what is the, so these three, did you guys write it down? Is it clear? All good? Hari? Okay? Shall we go to the next one? Okay, so Dinan, I hope you wrote it down as well, right? All good? Perfect. So let's, nice, all good, perfect. Okay. So then what about number of pages? And a tricky point. What is number of pages? Is it going to be a text or is it going to be a number?
Number.
Oh, perfect. Good answer. Great. So for a number, what do we write? We write it as integer, right? So that means, let me make this smaller a little bit, so just we can, okay, so this is going to be vacha, right? This is going to be voucher. This is also going to be voucher. This is also going to be voucher. And then we will have the next one, which is going to be integer. So in this case, this is going to be a number and it's going to be integer. Right? See? Okay. See how we have added it? Right? Okay. Then, so write that down as well. So you have to write it on your next side of the column, right? After this is done, then we have the final item, which is going to be the date of the release. So the date of the release has to be the type of date, right? So let me add that as well. So then this should be a date. So we can call it date, and the type would be DATE, date. Perfect. Okay. Okay. You guys got the point? Clear? Any questions? Didn't any questions? All good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You got the idea, right? So we basically, when we write the data set, we need to make sure that we will write the type in front of the field, so that now we have a full data set. Okay, now we need to talk about one more important factor. Okay, this is the next most important thing. Now, when you go to this type of a database, okay, so what would be your primary key? I'll ask you this in a different way. In your school, what is your, how does the school identify you? How does the school know you by normally? කොහොමද වෙන්නේ? Did you get the question? Yes. Onaya, did you get the question? කොහොමද ඉස්කෝලේ ඔයාව identify කරන්නේ? Yes.
From the name?
Yes, from the name. But when it comes to the when it comes to the ID, you do have a school ID, right? You have an admission number at school, right? Every student has an admission number. So the school identifies you from that admission number. Got the idea? හැමෝටම තියෙන admission number එක. අපි හැමදේම Okay, so I'll ask you this in a different way now. What is the number which we identify people in Sri Lanka? How do we identify somebody in Sri Lanka?
From the language.
From the language, yes, that is one way we can categorize, no? But Okay, so now still you guys don't have this, but once you reach the age of 16, you are going to get one as well. Okay, what is it? You need that to you need that to identify yourself. මොකක්ද? Think. Simple. The identity card, right? So all adults, they do have ID cards, right? So don't you have school ID cards? No, okay, but your school should have given you something like a book, no? A report card. Report card is there. Yeah. So in the report card, just check the next time when you get the report card, check whether there is a number. So it should have a number which will specifically identify you. Okay, that is how it's going to identify the specific student. Now for Sri Lankan citizens, we have something known as the National Identification Card. So in the NIC, National Identification Card, we have a number which is known as the NIC number, right? So that is the primary way which we will be identified. Now once you grow old, and when you go to an exam, or when you go to open a bank account, or some sort of any sort of a thing which is related to your personal data, then an identity card is required for you to do that. Okay, so in this case, if you look at this, what would be the primary identification method? How can somebody identify this book? What do you think? Using what? Yes, Sonaya, what do you think? If you have this in a database, මේකේ තියෙන පොතක් කොහොමද ඔයා identify කරන්නේ?
By the name.
By the name, okay, but then again,
By the ID.
Exactly, by the ID. The only way you can identify a book is by the ID, right? Okay, so for the answer Dinanya said, that is also partially correct, okay? But the thing is, now there can be a lot of books which has the same name, right? Now example is we might have a book called ABC, sorry, let's say learn computer science, and there will be another book, a different book, but with the same name. So you might find two books saying with the same title or the name as learn computer science. But the thing is, if that happens, then it's going to be a problem, right? Because people might get confused and you might not be able to find the exact book, right? So for that, what we do is we put a ID. So yes, good job in the ID. So this ID is known as the primary key. Okay, so the book ID is known as the primary key. So please do write in front of the book ID, can you write as primary key, PRIMARY key. Can you write it down? Okay. Super. So now you guys know how it is structured, right? So we have a data set, and in front of the data set, now we have a primary key which is storing the details, right? So we have the primary key, and then based on the primary key, now you have the option of searching for a book, right? So that's the straightforward method of getting the details out, right? Okay, now I hope you guys have a clear idea. Now, can we create something like this? Can we now create a data columns list? So now, based on the data set which you have added, you should be able to come up with this type of a data set. Right? You don't have to write it right now, but keep this in mind. That is how it's going to be structured. Okay, perfect. I hope it's clear. Any questions so far? All good? Okay, perfect. Okay, give me 1 second. Hold on. Why is this connecting? Yeah. Nice, perfect. Okay, so likewise, now we have the option of creating the table, and now you guys went through identifying the types, and now you know how to draw a table with the details, plus now you know how to exactly understand what is the different types, right? Okay, so let's learn about one more point before we jump into the unit 7. Now here, I hope if you remember it, but by any chance if you missed it, please check the previous video which we did, which I showed you on Excel, where how the data can be queried and filtered. So basically, based on what we just did, we have the option of querying for specific data types, right? Now in this case here, you can see this is an example where we will be looking for the field bus which has the criteria as 18AA, right? So this is the same sorting querying mechanism which we did when we went through the Excel filtering part. Okay, I hope you guys can remember what we did too, where we filter it up in multiple points. Okay, so that's how you create a that's how you basically create a database structure. Okay, and once you create this structure, then you get a lot of options to expand it. Okay, so now you guys know what it is and why we need this, and also how to create a database. Okay, nice, perfect. Then let's jump into the chapter, the next lesson, where we talk about searching online databases. So far, I hope it's clear. Any questions from both of you? All good? What about Dinanya? Are you also good? Any questions?
I'm not saying no questions.
Perfect. Okay, let me know if there's any questions, so that we can, so I can go through it and repeat it back. Super. So, there is something wrong with my scrolling. Okay, let me just scroll and adjust manually. Okay, nice. So this is the example which I told you about online systems. Okay, so we do have a lot of different systems online where we will be using to do advanced searches, find keywords, like how different type of search engines and whatnot. A lot of different activities will be done by this. Okay, so let's think about let's do a small activity. So here we think about these 3 common databases. Okay, and let's talk about how often these databases has to be updated. Okay. Now, think about the library. Alright. So think you two, Onaya and Dhiranna, you guys are maintaining you guys just think that you guys are maintaining the library. Okay. So you have a database, you have a software, and from there you are going to maintain the library database. How often would you get to work and change something in the database? හිතන්න ඔය දෙන්න තමයි කියලා ලයිබ්‍රරි එක පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ, ලයිබ්‍රරි එක මේන්ටේන් කරන්නේ. හරි. එතකොට ඒකේ database එක කොච්චර අප්ඩේට් කරයිද දවසකට? මොකද හිතන්නේ? මොනවද අප්ඩේට් වෙන්න තියෙන්නේ? What are the points which has to be updated in a database on a library or at a library, sorry. Yes, shoot. Onaya, what type of updates?
Books.
Books, yes.
The attendance.
Libraries attendance. Not exactly attendance, but borrowings, right? You go to a library to borrow a book, correct? You go to the library and you take a book, not literally buy the book, no. You borrow the book. So when you borrow the book, the library system should be able to save my details, right? Save my information. Got the idea? Maybe don't you go to the library at your school? Haven't used it? Are you? Okay, you should use the library. So go to the library, check for what type of books they have, and you can borrow them. All you need to do is you need to I don't know, it depends on the school, so you might have to write your name down and your admission number, I think, and then you can get the book and bring it home. Okay. So anything else? What do you think? What type of other databases updates we can do in the library?
The person who took the book, the returning date.
Exactly. Perfect. Great answer. Great answer. Perfect. So yes. So once I borrow the book, I have to return it back, no? So that also has to be updated. So mainly there will be only two updates, right? Borrowings and returns, right? There will be also one more update when we add a new book. Let's say Onaya brings a new book and she wants to add it into the database. If that's the case, then that is going to be a new transaction or a database record because you will be creating a new book, right? Perfect. So library will have 3 transactions. Okay. So
The date of which the book has taken.
yes, that would be part of the borrowing, right? When you borrow the book, like let's say when I take the book from the library, ideally that details has to be saved, right? And also, if you look at it that way, we need to have the date of return also, no? Because if you keep a book for too long, usually a library will give you a fine. They will punish you for keeping the book for a long time. So you will get fined, and also then you will have to you're going to get fined and you'll have to pay when you're returning the book. Perfect. That's great. Now, what about a supermarket? What do you think about a supermarket? Just tell me 4 database transactions. What do you update?
Sellers, buyers, products.
Perfect. And then what about, so sellers, buyers, products? Perfect. Great. But will that be updated on regularly? හැමදාම update කරයිද? Will it be updated regularly? Not on regular basis, no? What do you think? It won't be updated on regular basis, no, but it will be updated, yes. But what do you think it will be updated most often on regular basis, on day-to-day basis?
The stock.
Exactly. Perfect. Great answer. Yes, the stock. The stock has to be updated on like almost every time, right? Instant. Let's say if you go to the supermarket and if you buy something, immediately when you purchase it, the stock has to be updated because when you buy something, the stock has to be deducted, and when you restock, when your suppliers bring in the stock, that has to be added, right? Perfect. And one more thing, transactions, purchases. So when you go to the supermarket and when you buy something, obviously that transaction information has to be saved, no? What you have purchased. So that is also one point, transactions. Right? Okay, perfect. Huh? Great answers. Then what about this guy? Banks. What do you have in banks? What would be? Sorry?
Withdrawing.
Withdrawals. Correct. So withdrawals and
Deposit.
deposits. Exactly. So those two should be the updates which will happen most often. But at the same time, on a normal basis, there will be transactions for new accounts also, right? When you want to create a new account, you might go there and you might create a new account which will then add some data into the bank. Okay, that's great. Now you guys have a good idea about how it works. Okay, that's so great. Perfect. So now basically, now since you know how this work, we can think about what type of so yeah, give me 1 second. Why isn't this getting slow? Yes, perfect. So now we know the basics, like now we know how the transactions work, right? Now let's say what about the online aspect of things? Okay, what type of search engines? Now we know how companies work, no? Like locations work, like a bank or a library, no? But when it comes to the online, how does it work online? So example is, now we do have search engines, right? So what type of, so the search engines, they have different types of ways for users to search. Okay, now let's think about this in a whole different way. Let's say if you take Kiehl's, okay, we have this Kiehl's supermarkets now. So Kiehl's super, let's say if you want to buy something online from Kiehl's super, without going to the supermarket, you want to buy it online from their website, right? If that's the case, then now, as we discussed before, buyers, sellers, transactions, stock, all these things has to be continuously updated, right? But at the same time, let's say if we are searching for something, okay, let's go back to a different point. So, Dinanya, what is your default search engine? What do you use to search online?
Mozilla Firefox.
You use Firefox. Okay. What is the search engine? What is the engine? What is the search engine you are using? Just think.
Chrome.
Google Chrome, okay. But when you go to Chrome and when you search for something, let's say if you want to search for mathematics, you search as maths, and when you type enter, from where do you get the search result? කොහෙන්ද result එක එන්නේ? You get it from Google, right? you use Google, no? So the default search engine most of the time is Google. You use Google to search, and depending on the depending on the system, sometimes you might use Microsoft Bing as well, Bing, Bing, right? So anyway, so whenever you search for something, you go and search on Google. So basically, search engines, sorry, search search engines works in a similar way. So now example is, now let's say if we go to keys, we have to make sure that we can search for that specific items, right? Okay, let me show you guys an example. Okay, let's open up a window and let's go to keys. Okay, so keys super, I'm opening up keys super. So let's see how it works. Now it is loading. Now perfect. Okay, now I'm in the keys website, right? So here you can see it has some displays of products, right? So you have whatever tea, Signal, Pepsi, fresh milk, Malibu lemon puff, and all sorts of convenience meat and all these things, right? Okay, now the important point is, now let's say tell me something to search for. What do you think?
Discounts.
Not taking discounts. Tell me a product to search. What do you want to search? Shall we search for Milo? Milo. Okay, so I am searching for Milo, and you can see the system automatically shows me the available products for Milo, right? So you can see Milo. Yeah, now it's clear. You can see Milo. Individual packets are there. They have a 6-pack set, and so on and so forth, right? So this is what is known as a product or a system search. Okay, so why we need this is, now when it comes to large sites and systems, you have to, or you must have a way to search and find out what is there, right? So this search can include, they can include keywords, they can include language choices, they can include date ranges, and so on and so forth, a lot of things. Now let's see what Keels has. So Keels has categories, right? So they have categories, and under the categories, they have some features, right? See, under the categories you have a primary set of categories such as vegetables, fruit, meats, and seafood. And if you go to if you go to fruits, you have local and imported fruits. Okay, so this is helping the user to find out, to help him to exactly find what he is looking for, right? Now let's say if you are looking to buy local fruits, you can easily click on local fruits, and yeah, there's local fruits. You have banana, you have melon, papaya, avocados, sini kesel, and guava, orange, belly, organic melon, organic papaya, and so on and so forth, right? So that, now if you were looking for Sri Lankan or local fruits, then you easily were able to find it, right? So that is why we have these advanced search methods, so that it will make sure, it will make your lives easier, or the customers' lives easy, so that you can search and you can find out exactly what you are looking for, right? Okay, so now there are some methods to do this search. Okay, now I will just show you one more point. So now when it comes to Google, there are some points which you need to understand. Okay, so this is something very straightforward, so you can just try this out. Let's say if I take google.com. Okay, now here we are in the Google page. Now let's say we need to search for something. මොනවද search කරන්නේ? Tell me a keyword to search. What shall we search? Onaya, any suggestions? Okay. Onaya, what is your school? I will search for your school name.
Sussex College, Nigambo.
Sussex College, Nigambo. Perfect. Okay. So I just searched for Sussex College, Nigambo, and see, we get the details. Okay. Now we get all the information about Sussex College. We have their website, we have their Facebook page, we get some pictures of the school, events, ranking, networks, and massive lot of information, right? Okay, now let's think about a different way. Let's go into images, and so we are in the images. Now let's say we want to search for a good high resolution image, right? Or some sort of an image which was recently posted by the school, right? How to do that? All you need to do is you have this option called More here. So you have the option called More. Sorry, you have the option called Tools. So when you click on Tools, on the bottom, now you can see we have some new options, right? So here, let's say we want to find out all the pictures which was uploaded by Sussex College past week. ගිය සතියේ දාලා බලමු. Okay. Now we get the list of images which was past week. They have pictures of your sports meet. This is not your school, is it?
That's not our school.
Okay. You. Okay. I thought that's the school. Did I pronounce it incorrectly or?
I think that is something Kiribati.
Okay. Okay. So there are like multiple branches, is it?
Yes, 20 networks.
Oh, okay. That's the thing. Okay. So this is Nigambo. No, it's asking us to log in. Okay. Yes. So it's since I searched as Sussex College, it is showing all the colleges around the country. That's why. Okay. Now let's say if we can fine tune it. So let's say if we have a method of changing this. No, right? No way to fine tune. Then okay. So you can just. Okay, so now you got the idea about how to do these advanced searches, right? So there are a few things you just need to keep in mind. So this is just for the knowledge. So here, these type of search engines, they actually give you a different type of searching. Okay, now let's say this is now the newer search engines doesn't need it, but even if you do it, it will not make any harm. Okay, if you want to search for multiple keywords in the new search engines, in the older search engines you had to put a plus sign. Okay, so you had to put something like this, but in the newer search engines, the search engine automatically identifies the space. Okay, and it will let you run the same search based on the same search page. Okay, so that is what is being mentioned here. We are just you just need to keep in mind, but no need to write down, and let's make sure that it is something specific. But one important thing. Now let's say if you want to really search for this particular point, let's say if we search as Sussex College, and within quotations if we put it as Nigambo, ideally it will try to focus the search according to this particular search query. Now here, like when I search for Nigambo with the double quotes, see the search results got changed, right? Because now what happened was that was focusing more into that particular keyword. Okay, so let's try to do an advanced search and see. Okay, nice, perfect. So when you go to this advanced search in Google, when you click on tools, you have this option called advanced search. Okay, here it gives you a lot of features. Then make පුළුවන්, you can actually filter it a lot. See, you can search this. So exact words. Now I will keep the word as Sussex College, and I will put the exact word or phrase as Nigambo. Okay, now let's do a search and see. Okay, now all the information should be focused on Nigambo. Onaya, this is your school, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. Now check if the pictures are all Nigambo pictures. Should it looks like, right? ඔක්කොම Nigambo pictures නේද? Okay, nice. That's the thing. So what happened? So what we did was we added the Nigambo in double quotations like this, and now it is focused on only for Nigambo. Right? Now if let's go into the school. Yeah, see, it's all Nigambo pictures. Okay. Okay, got the idea. That is how it works, right? Okay, then we have another point. So that is by adding double quotes, right? Then let's say we can add something more, an extra point, where we can put a dash or a minus sign and tell the search engine to exclude pages which contains a specific keyword. Okay, මේකත් කරන්න පුළුවන්. Let's say අපිට මෙහෙම එකක් අපිට ඕනේ ඔක්කොම Sussex College ටික but without Nigambo. Okay, so we want all Sussex College results but anything other than Nigambo. See now what happened when I searched that. I got Sussex College, Ambara, Malabe, Anuradhapura, Kandy. Ade, this is like, they have a lot of schools, no? Sussex College, Postmead, Kandy. Where is this? Yeah, Kurunagala, Malabe. See, so now what we did was we told Google, search for Sussex College, but anything other than Nigambo. So what it did was it took everything out and it kicked out all the keyword called Nigambo, and no Nigambo details are displayed. Okay, clear? All good? You understood how it works? Okay. Then Dinanya, any questions so far?
No, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So try this out. Take a new Google Chrome browser and try this. Type this and see how it works. Okay. At the same time, we have this point where we can put a star, an asterisk sign. Okay, so when you put the asterisk sign, what happens is it will try to find out, it will only show all the search results which is working for this particular key. Okay, let me show something like this. So if I search as Sussex, I'm going to get a country, right? Yeah, Sussex is a country, no? Okay, that's a oh, sorry, that's a part of England, it seems. Okay, sorry, I didn't know that. Okay, that's a part of England. So if I add a Sussex plus star, no, if I add a Sussex plus star here, we might be able to get all the information. So what it does is it basically says that to complete the word and find all the information. Now example is, now if we want to get all the pictures of okay, මෙහෙම sports meet 2023. Okay, now we are going to get 2023 sports meet, right? Let's say then you want 2024 also, then you get 2024. Let's say you need 2025, then you get the details of 2025. Okay, but let's say we want all the images of sports meets from 2020 to 2025. Okay, now technically you can't write it like this, no, you cannot write it like this, that's not going to work out, right? So what we do is we put an asterisk sign at the end of the string and we set it like this. Now what it shows is, it shows you all the sports meet pictures starting from 2020, because the last 0 is omitted and taken as all. Okay, so all the details are displayed on the search result. Is it clear? Onaya, you have to try this out. Huh? Okay. Yeah. So, Dinanya, any questions?
No.
Okay. That search is clear, right? How it works? Okay. So then I want you guys to actually go through these two modules, because this is actually something related to like researching. So you can actually go through this and understand. Sorry, just read it. I will be skipping this part because this is just a theory part which you need to do as an activity, where we will be discussing about doing an online research project. Okay, so question, Onaya, did you do this at school? Online research project?
Sir, we don't have the Inspire computing book.
Sorry, again I made that mistake. Yes, sorry. Sorry, yeah. What about Dinanya?
Sir, we are still in first or second, no, I mean fourth or fifth lesson.
Okay. That's good. Okay, perfect. So we can jump through and see how it goes. Okay, perfect. So this is actually an activity which has to be done in the school, and this is the last part of this. So it will basically make sure that it will finish the research. So after this, let's then, so on Wednesday, let's actually jump into, sorry, yeah, on Wednesday, let's jump into the next part, where then we can actually find out, we'll start the next module starting from the beginning. So then we can start the I think that day we discussed that we'll start from the module, which one is this? Yeah, module 3, right? So we'll jump into module 3, unit 3, and we can finish it from there itself. Okay, so now I'm going to give you homework now. So I don't want you guys to do this tomorrow itself, but and just to clarify, Onaya and Dinan, both of you are available tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Okay. Onaya, you will be there as well?
No, sir, I'm not free.
Ayo. Okay. Tomorrow 2 to 4.
No, sir.
Ayo. Is it? Okay. So we will be doing the cover up class. So we can start from there. Okay. So I hope it is clear. And okay, so for next week, can you finish up get this part done? Oh, sorry, give me 1 second. So please go through this unit, and after this is clear, we can just put the answers, and please do send it to me. So just take a picture and send it to me on WhatsApp. That is also fine. Or you can actually take a picture and upload it in the LMS as well. Okay. So I hope everything is okay. And yes, any questions? All good? Then we can wrap it up the class for today. So, Hari, okay, Dinan? Then see you tomorrow.